Okay, so you join us. We're about to do our first oil drop. We've done about 670 miles now, so it's time to drop the braking oil. So to do this, we've just dropped off two of the fairing side pieces, which are here. We've got this main piece and this piece, and all of these little bits and bobs come off in order to get these off. So you're going to need a crosshead, 10mm, 4mm Allen key, something like that, and a spanner. Just get those items off. That gives you access to the oil filter and to the drain plug. The drain plug is a 17mm, and I've just loosened it up because it was super tight. So I tapped it with the mallet on the end of the spanner and just released that. So we're about to drop the oil. All I've got is these. I went to Walmart and I couldn't find an actual oil drain pan. They were all sold out for some reason. So I found these cheap sort of storage bins, which I'm going to use to drop the oil and catch it all in there. So I'm going to pull the plug and we will let the oil drain out. The engine's still warm because I just rode this bike home. And so, yeah, one thing to do when you are draining the oil is to release the seal on the oil filler cap, just to let the air flow back in and get the oil back out. So I'm going to start draining it and release the oil filter once the drain plugs stopped dripping. You can see our oil level is right at 3/4 between the low and the high, so that's good. It means the engine's been healthy whilst we've been running it, no oil leaks or anything like that. All the oil is still in there for the break-in period, and so that's what we're going to aim to refill to, about 3/4 between low and high. So here we go. Alright guys, so we got the oil filter off. I just used one of these grippy wrench things. Came right off, nice and easy. We've got the new filter here, matches the same part number, which is 5GH13440-80. I know that's probably not in focus. When you're putting these on, you can either put a little bit of the fresh oil around the seal. This has already got something like Vaseline on it, so that's okay. And you're just going to tighten this by hand. Don't use a tool to tighten this, just pop it on. Check you don't cross the threads, so it should go on nice and easy by hand, and only tighten it up by hand as well. Don't use any tools to tighten it up. That's all you need is hand tightening. So once that's on, put the drain bolt in. We have got some new 14mm gasket washers, which will go around this drain bolt. It looks like the washer, I don't know, it's maybe stuck on that bolt, which isn't a bother to me. Just put the washer on the top and you'll get a good seal again. If I can get that off with a screwdriver, I might do, but otherwise the new washer is key for this. Always put a new washer on when you are replacing your drain plug. Alright, so we're going to get that buttoned up, and then we've got the Yamalube 10W40 oil to go in. This should be more than enough, and you'll see me when we do that. Okay, I apologise because it's gotten dark now and I'm just in the garage with the garage light on, but we're all buttoned up. This is hand tightened. This is just you know, a nice little nip. I'm sure there's a torque setting for it, but I've done this enough times. And just get the spanner, give it a nice little nip, and that's sufficient. Now I forgot to buy a funnel, so I'm using this Flyer from Ride Chicago, the the bike school that I use to get my test. So I'm using this just to give me a bit of a funnel into the fill port there. And what I do is fill it up almost full on the sight glass and then run the engine to get the oil through the filter, and then fill it up again to the desired point that I want, and then I'm happy. And then check it again after the first ride and all should be gravy. So yeah, that's it really. I'm just going to top up the oil and give it a run to get the oil filter filled, and then top it up again. Okay, so that's the first fill. We've gone up to the full line. This is not full of oil yet, so I'm going to run the engine. This will dissipate down and then we'll top it back up after we've run the engine. So I run the engine for about 30 seconds to a minute, something like that, just to get the oil filter filled up. So as you can see, that's taken the oil level right down, and again just give it a couple of minutes, maybe 2 or 3, 5 minutes, and just see if there's any oil comes back up to the sight glass, and then after that we can top it up to where it was before, about 3/4 between the high and the low marks on the sight window. Now when you're doing this, as you can see, I'm not using the side stand here. I am leaning against the wall, so the bike is as straight as it can be, because obviously you want to check the sight window when the bike is stood up straight, just like it would be when it's going down the road. So check it when the bike is straight. Okay, so what do you do if you accidentally overfill the oil? Now I am still under the top level, but if I just stand the bike a little bit more straight, I'm right on the top level, and I'm just a little bit uncomfortable with that. So if I want to just take a little bit of oil out, it's very easy. We release the drain plug again and just let a little bit of oil seep out. We don't have to take the bolt all the way out, or at least keep the pressure that way whilst we're undoing the bolt, so that you can control the flow of oil coming out, and just let it drip a little bit so that we get the oil back to where we want it to be. So let's try that now. Okay, so we're back where we want to be. Just give the threads a little wipe just to get rid of any excess as you're doing it up, and that will be absolutely perfect now. I'm just going to nip that with the spanner and all's good. Just took it out a little bit, look. There you go. Okay, so we're all buttoned up again. Just a case of putting things back as you found them. Don't forget the little plastic fitting behind this fairing, and there's a few clips that just need to clip in place and then do the screws up, and we are all golden. So she's all buttoned up and ready to go again. Can't wait. So I've had a few gear shift sort of issues, in the fact that it seems when I go through neutral or second to third, sometimes it takes a couple of goes just to get it in there. So I'm hoping with the fresh oil in that it's going to make gear shifting that much nicer. So we will find out, and I'll let you know. But that was the first service done. I do need to check the chain slack as well, so I'll be doing that shortly. Don't know whether that'll be in this video. We will see. But the oil change is done, and that's good. Glad that's done. Alright, bye for now.